We are looking at a blacktip shark today. It was found dead, as you see it here. I didn't remove anything, we didn't change anything. This is what we found. We dissected and we'll look at the cause of death. Interesting, first of all, because it is a blacktip, it's quite a rare species in Cayman. One of our most abundant species is the nurse shark and the Caribbean reef shark. But the Caribbean reef and the blacktip look really similar, so it's quite difficult sometimes to distinguish between the two. And I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for you so we go through the features that distinguishes the two species. So, features for a blacktip versus a Caribbean reef. The first thing that I personally look at would be the anal fin. Contrary to the naming, which is super confusing, the blacktip doesn't have blacktips all around. That's the Caribbean reef shark. The blacktip has a white or dusky anal fin, and the Caribbean reef has a black tip here, so similar to this fin. Underwater, this flank, this white streak here, on the flank, on the side, on both sides, this streak is also a very clear sign that it's a blacktip. The Caribbean reef has also counter shading like the blacktip. Many sharks have that, and that is because when a fish looks up to the sun, kind of to the surface, it wants to be white because it blends in easier. And then from the top, for other predators or other fish for the camouflaging, they are white, they're gray because they blend in better into the environment. Then if we move forward to the eyes, the blacktip has smaller eyes than a Caribbean reef, so they look a little bit more bully usually because they're also having a very steep rise here and then they're flattened out. The Caribbean reef doesn't have that little hump here. Then we also have a very narrow and pointy snout. The Caribbean reef, when you look from it on the top, it has a round and broad nose, and the blacktip has that nice pointy, narrow snout. They both have 5 gill slits. Most species of shark have 5 gill slits, some have 6 or 7, but the blacktip and the Caribbean reef both have 5. Another cool thing about the sharks in general, you can actually tell how, like evolution-wise, how far back the shark has evolved. So the dorsal fin here, in the more modern sharks, they have evolved around 100 million years ago. They are more in the center of gravity of the shark. In like a nurse shark or even a lemon, or if the deep water species like the Greenland shark and stuff, this dorsal fin moves to the back. And the further back the more dorsal fin is on the body of the shark, the more earlier in evolution it has evolved. Sharks are fish, but they are a little bit different to the normal reef fish that you might see on our reef environment. First of all, sharks have cartilaginous skeletons, so that is the stuff that our nose and our ears are made out of. So you can see the gills, right? And on other fish, reef fish on the reef, they have a gill cover to protect their gills. Then the skin is made out of little teeth. They have evolved from the actual teeth, and they are called dermal denticles. If you touch the shark in this direction, it's very slick and streamlined. That reduces the drag and makes it more efficient for the shark to move. And if you brush it this way, it's very rough, almost like sandpaper. Like if I do it often enough, I will have a really rough, like my skin will come off eventually. The teeth, there's a new teeth waiting behind in the jaw. And when the tooth is like falling out because when they're like eating something and they break a tooth, then it falls out and the next one comes right back. Then the nostrils are located here, and those are not for breathing, they're really just for smell. The shark breathes like any other fish through their gills. That's why most sharks are swimming with a slightly opened mouth. They need to have that mouth open a little bit just so the water can enter and flow over the gills. The blacktip is one of the species that has to keep swimming in order to breathe. They are not able to lie down on the ocean floor and just pump the water over the gills, like for example the nurse shark that we dissected last time. The other part is it also needs to keep swimming just to maintain the position in the water column. It is like an airplane. The pec fins are helping for the uplift, and also the dorsal fin shape. The upper lobe is much longer than the lower lobe, and that also helps with keeping the shark more in an upright position. The steering happens with these guys and with the body itself, and it also, we're gonna see that later when I cut it open, it also has a very oily liver, and that oil in the liver also helps with the uplift of the body. So the first thing I do when I do these necropsies is just the basic measurements of the animal. We start with the total length, tip of the snout, and then we go all across the body to the little nick before the caudal fin, and that is the pre-caudal length in scientific terms. We talk about that, and that is 1 meter and 2 centimeters, so 102 centimeters. And then the total length is all the way up the caudal fin, and the total length is 139 centimeters. Then we'll take the girth, we'll take that just behind the pec fins, and that is 55.5. So with females and males in sharks, we can tell which one is which by looking at the pelvic fins here, the pelvic area. If the males have claspers like this, and females don't have claspers, so it's just a fin without it. The ampulla of Lorenzini. So the sharks have one special sense that other animals don't have, that's the electroreception. When they're like a meter or 2 away from the prey, they can pick up minute electric currents, and every organism we do, and all the other organisms in the ocean, every prey item does emit a little electric current through our heartbeat alone. So that's what they pick up with the ampulla of Lorenzini, and those are tiny black dots. It's almost like a mosaic pattern. It's really beautiful. I love it. It's like one of my favorite things on the shark. I'm checking the shark for any injuries that could potentially point towards the cause of death. I do obviously see the line, the fishing line, but I also want to see if there's any cuts that could have caused any other. Okay, just want to see. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. It has fishing line all around it, and this is how Jason found it on the dive site. Quite a shocking encounter, I could imagine. It does have a hook in the mouth. Ow! It goes deep down, so it might have been gut hooked. We can check that out in a little bit if it's actually in the throat or in the gut. I would imagine it's a similar, yeah, we can get it out later. I would imagine it's the same hook as this one, and this is a J hook. So in our advice for fishers, we are asking them to use circle hooks, because the circle hooks, the way they are, it's a more circular shape, and they have a smaller opening. This way, they are not getting gut hooked, and that's one of the reasons why we are asking people to use non-stainless steel, so not stainless steel, so they rust out quicker, and circle hooks, because the circle hooks usually get like at the corner of the mouth, and when you cut those, the line or the hook, whichever, and then you have non-stainless steel hooks, they will rust out fairly quick in the salt water, and then the shark is good. But I would imagine this shark in particular, since it is dead, it probably, I mean, the whole reel was underwater too. There was a hand reel attached. I would imagine he was just so strong and ripped the reel out of the fisher's hand, and then got caught up in the reef, tangled itself. And like I said, a shark needs to keep swimming to breathe, or this species has to needs to keep swimming to breathe. And if it doesn't breathe after, you know, a few minutes, after a while, it will suffocate and just die. It will take me a little bit to cut through. It's cartilaginous skeleton, so I can cut it with the scissors, but the skin is quite tough, so it will take me a few minutes. Okay, this is what it looks like in there, nicely packed. You have the heart, liver, stomach, spleen, kidney. I just wanted to show you what it looks like inside the shark before I take everything out. That's the liver. It has 2 lobes, And it is the largest organ. This is a fat depot. The shark doesn't have any other fat storage on the body. Everything that's not being used by swimming, when it eats, all the overflow of nutrition, energy goes in here. And if the liver is pink and really fat and oily and squishy, then you know this shark was well fed. It had lots of energy. The oil in the liver is called squalene. You might have heard of that before. The oil in the liver was used for cosmetic products, for candles and so on, because once the whales were protected, we had to find something else, and the sharks were discovered to have valuable oil in the liver, which people used for those kind of things. So when you do buy cosmetic products, please have a look on the back if squalene is in it, and if it is, please stop using it because it actually uses the oil of the shark. There's also another product which is called squalane. So squalene with an E is shark, squalane with an A is synthetic, and that's fine to use because they have developed a method to synthetically produce the similar product, but the squalane doesn't use the shark, so we are reducing the demand on the supply. So that's the one thing. Then I'm going to show you the digestive tract, which has all pretty much the other organs other than the heart attached. And then we also have a look at what the shark ate last. So we'll have a look at the yay! I love that enthusiasm. So interesting, and I think we actually might be able to see because oh, I see the hook. Okay, yeah, I was definitely. Please take a photo with my phone and after, because this is really important. Do you see the hook here?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, and then this is the stomach up here, and then the intestine. Whee! Yes. So that's where the hook was. So that's the mouth. It comes in here, the intestine, and there is something in there. So I'm excited to see what it is. And then the digestive tract, and then the poop comes out where the claspers are, the cloacae. Yeah, it's quite small. Okay, let's see what we got in here. So the way we identify or measure the stomach content. So one is we try to identify all the items that we can, and the other is we'll determine the volume. So the volume we determine by knowing we'll put a little bit of water in a beaker, and we know the original volume, which is 400 milliliters, so you write that down. And then we'll put everything in there and subtract the final volume minus the original, and then we know how much was in the stomach. Sorry, I know the stomach content is usually the most smelly one. I think there's some fish skin that we can identify, maybe. Okay, the final volume is 755. Ooh, okay, he definitely ate a fish. I don't know. Ooh, oh my God, you know what he ate? He ate a barracuda. That is a barracuda bone, like the spine of it. Honestly, and that is the scales, like, I thought so. Oh my God, he ate a barracuda. Well, that's different to that though. I think that might be a different fish.
No, that looks different.
Okay, so one is a barracuda, the other one we don't know yet. You ate a barracuda, okay, sir. Hold this open, like open it up. I'm gonna take a fin clip from the shark because we take it as a DNA sample. Yes. Yes, they do. Oh, I love that question. Thanks for reminding me. So yes, sharks have eyelids, and they even have an additional eyelid, which is called a nictitating membrane. And a nictitating membrane is white, and it does come up from below when they close their mouth. So when they're about to bite, just to protect the eyes, they come up, and that's why they most of the time have white eyes when you see them, for example, feeding, or for example, when there is no danger, such as in shark feeding dives in the Bahamas, for example, if you ever watch those videos and they about to take the bite in the food that the diver gives them, then they also close that eyelid just for the protection, because sharks are predators, and predators, they do need their eyes. They don't rely on them purely, but it is one of the senses that a predator needs. So it's one of the most valuable things for the shark, and that's why they have a special protection for that. And that's just developed. I wonder if it's like a grunt or something. It looks grunt to me.
Straight. It almost looks like cowfish.
Cowfish? Wait, that's a shoulder blade, I guess. We got ahead of something, we just don't know what it is yet. Okay, who can help? We have a little thing here. Oh, ocean turbot, like an ocean triggerfish. Oh my God, I would have never thought. Okay. Yeah, this is just another piece. It has the same scales. Just need to get it out. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I can't really hold it. That's the heart. It's a 2-chambered heart. It doesn't have 4 chambers like we do. It's 2 chambers, and it pushes the blood from the oxygenated blood from the gills. Yeah, that's always a mess because obviously there's blood. The oxygenated blood from the gills, it pushes it through the entire body, and then it returns to the heart, and then back to the gills, oxygenate, come back to the heart, and then it pushes back through. And sharks are, or most of them except for the white shark and the poor beagle shark, they are warm-blooded, but all the other sharks are cold-blooded, like fish. I am done with the official necropsy. I'm just going to take a few samples. I'm going to take a muscle sample also for further analysis. For example, from the muscle, we can do a heavy metal analysis, how much heavy metal is in the shark. I've done that in dogfish before, not here in South Africa for my undergrad. And I found that the heavy metal concentration, especially of arsenic, was through the roof, and that is because it's top predator, and top predators are eating other animals and they are taking it up from their food sources. So it's a bioaccumulation, that is what it's called, and it's most highly accumulated in a top predator like a shark, a barracuda, dolphins, orcas, whales. All of them will have a high heavy metal concentration, and that is one of the reasons why I always say do not eat shark, not just because I love them and obviously here they are protected, but if you travel to other places, it might be a national dish, it might be something cool to discover, but I always say don't eat it because you don't know how bad the heavy metal concentration is. And that heavy metal concentration that I found in the dogfish that gets exported, that was not safe for human consumption, just as a tip.